Word, son. What do you do, YouTube? It's your boy Jay Divine. Alright, man, before we get to this video, make sure to like button, comment, subscribe, share the word, spread the links, because you know how I do. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, click the bell icon so you're notified every time I upload. Without further ado, let's get up into it. Alright, man, so as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, I got a few clips looped up here, and I'm talk about them as they play. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is becoming one of the top 3 things that I'm not liking about 2K25. Now, I know in the last video I said that 2K25 is a weird game, but this is becoming more and more prominent as 2K25 plays on. I don't want to say 24 was on the same time, but 25 is more rampant than ever. Now, rewind the hands of time for a second. Remember in 2K, I don't know if it was 22 or 23, I forget which one it was, but we had a badge that made it to where it was to figure out who was more scrappier. If I don't know if it was Scrapper or I don't know what badge it was, but we all know that there was a badge that made it to where when it came down to tracking down a loose ball, your guy was going to be, scrappier than the other. He was going to be more faster picking the ball up. He was going to be more faster in tracking the ball down, and thus giving him the ability to be able to pick up the ball over somebody that wasn't as athletic or didn't have as much hustle. So with that being gone, pretty much all of us have a 50-50 chance at tracking the ball down or recovering the ball if there's a loose ball. Now, in multiple clips, you see that there's at least 2 guys fighting over the ball. Let me let y'all in on a little secret. 90% of the time, 95% of the time, if you don't want to be, 90, 95%, 99% of the time, if you want to be OD about it, there's always going to be a tie. It's going to be a jump ball. So when I see 2 guys fighting over the ball and I'm seeing one of us getting screwed on the animation, whether or not my guy's hesitant picking the ball up or he's quick picking the ball up, this gives very RNG-like vibes. This gives very dice roll animation-like vibes. And honestly, ladies and gentlemen, I've had enough of it. I've had enough of it in college football. I had enough of it in Madden. I've had enough of it in, what you say, FIFA. In a lot of sports games, I've had enough of the RNG-esque type gameplay. I've had enough of that. The dice roll animations, I've had enough of that. 2K is going down the same exact road. Every single year, we always end up losing user control somehow. If it isn't more and more animations coupled on top of more and more animations, then it's stuff like this. This is a problem. You can't sit here and allow this to be the norm in gameplay, because what's going to happen is if nobody's speaking up on this, which I double checked, nobody really is shedding light on this or even talking about it. But what happens is when you don't speak up and say that this is wrong and there needs to be more being done to this, what happens is it gets swept under the rug, and then 2K sees that and they're going to play on that and allow it to be the norm and allow it to get more and more outrageous to the point where now all of a sudden 2-3 years later on down the line, when nobody was speaking about it, now all of a sudden it's reared its ugly head. Now everybody want to speak up and say something. And then the first thing that come out of their mouths is, well, why didn't anybody say anything about this? Newsflash, somebody's been talking about it, or people have been talking about it, but it wasn't a big enough problem for y'all to even speak on it. And that's a main issue with this 2K community. It's like y'all pick and choose what's important and what's not. A lot of the times I've seen this 2K community talk about what's important or what the biggest concern is or what the biggest main issue is. It's always shooting and dribbling and finishing at the rim. Those are the top 3 things that the 2K community always gripes about every single year. We don't talk about the screens and how sticky they are, because I've talked about how screens need to be nerfed, and they need to be to the point where you're not getting stuck like flypaper to an animation or getting suction cup into an animation because the guy wants to left, right, and bait you into a screen just so you can get that suction cup animation, and which in turn leaves them wide open. They're not going to talk about that. They're not going to fix that. They're not going to say anything about that, because the ones who use it, they're going to be, I would say it's a good majority of them, they're going to be the ones that get turned off the game because they're not able to cheese their way to a 3-ball, right? So here we are now with the loose ball animations or the loose ball situations. So you mean to sit here and tell me, 2K, that it never occurred to you to where there needs to be more tie-ups, there needs to be more jump balls, because you're not going to have 2 guys fight over a ball, and you mean to sit here and tell me that it's okay for one to get screwed out of that situation and the other one to get majority the win in that situation. So you mean to tell me it's okay that my guy is hesitating, reaching down for the ball? It's okay to watch my guy literally lock eyes on with the ball, but his hand placement is completely way out of the way where the ball is. But the other guy's able to pick it up. So it's okay to sit here and have my guy, like I said, not be able to pick up the ball, or both of us have the same animation, but the game's dice roll / RNG says, nah, he gets the ball. Or no, you get the ball. There needs to be either A, more animations that make it to where we're both fighting over the ball, or B, you need to make it to where it's more jump ball and tie-ups. I don't want to play a game where this is how you guys handle a loose ball situation. This isn't fair. And another thing too, since we're speaking about RNG, Mike Wang and the rest of the 2K company, you guys want to play like RNG doesn't exist, and it does. This is prime example of it. There's no stat line that says who's going to get the ball over the other. So people will probably say that your steal rate matters, which is capped, because I've seen centers be able to scoop the ball up quicker than a point guard would with 99 perimeter or interior, whichever the case is. But I've seen big men pick the ball up faster than point guards have. Right? None of that matters. You can't tell me that spamming square is going to give me a better chance at picking the ball up versus just running over to it and hoping that they give me the right animation. You're not going to tell me that. RNG is very rampant in this game. You're not going to lie to me. Don't spit on me and tell me it's raining. You're not going to lie to me and tell me that RNG isn't in this game. I would say the biggest showcase of RNG is a real player percentage, especially when it comes down to, like, because you can't use it for shooting, but when you're using it for layups, that's the biggest RNG. There have been so many times where I have laid the ball up, which I turned that real player percentage crap off, especially on layups. I went back to timing my layups because I can't trust 2K to be able to give me a green layup or make my layups go in, even though I got the lane for it and I use the right shot input, only for the game to have me miss because a guy decides to put a hand up and now it's supposed to be enough for him to disorient my shot. Versus if I was able to time it and green it, even with the guy standing right there trying to put a hand up, but he was slightly off, just a hair off, just a taste off. But because RNG says, no, you're going to miss this one, I get screwed in the end. I'm telling you now, nip this in the bud right now. Since nobody else is going to speak up on it, I guess I'll be the one to do it. But this is becoming one of the top 3 reasons, which I'm trying to figure out, like, my reasons as to why 2K is starting to get on my nerves. But this is becoming top 3 as to why 2K25 is really starting to get on my nerves. This is main reason number 1 right here. But hopefully y'all enjoy, man. Make sure to hit the like button, comment, subscribe, share the word, spread the links, because you know how I do. I'm going to get up out of here, y'all. It's your boy Jay Divine, and I'm signing out. Peace.